New Balance designer Steve Smith kicked off the 90s with New Balance's first ever running shoe designed with women specifically in mind in the 997s. Now it was pretty significant at the time and it had its loyal following. However, shortly after, the shoe went out of production. It came back a bunch of times, like on the 997.5 that started off as a collaboration with Japanese retailer United Suns and Arrow that replaced the midsole with the absorbed midsole from New Balance and then kept the 997 upper sole. That happened in 2008, but then in 2014, the 997, not the 997.5, that returned, and then recently in 2019, the 997H, a re-engineered 997, came back again. And right now, it's only offered as a kids and golf shoe. So if you go on newbalance.com, you actually still see the 997. You just can't get it unless you're a kid or you're going golfing. And now New Balance is trying to bring back the silhouette and applying a bit of R, remastered, re-engineered, whatever you want R to stand for. A little bit of R magic like they did for the 1906R and the 2002R to the 997s. New Balance 997R, Navy and Arctic Grey. Now this shoe actually already dropped in Europe. However, in the United States, the release date is still unknown, not sure why, but if you really want the shoe, you can just grab it from Europe. That's where I got it from. The shipping was pretty fast and it was 140 euros. So whatever that amounted to, like a bit over 150 I think, including shipping, you can get it pretty easily. Now right off the bat, I will say up front, with the whole hype surrounding New Balance nowadays in the past few years, I have never really quite jumped fully on board. I'm not really all about the dad shoe or runner shoe vibe. I know it's very popular amongst the cool kids nowadays. I'm not a cool kid, I'm not cool, I've never been cool, so I don't really get the trend. My favorite silhouette of New Balance is the 550s. I think that's pretty nice. I do own one pair of the 9060 Cherry Blossoms. I think that's a very, very comfortable shoe. Apart from that, I've never been huge on the other silhouettes. This shoe, this silhouette, I think this can do some damage. I really, really like how sleek, how clean this looks. And this colorway, whew, I'm excited for this one. And the upper sole of the shoe, there's a mix of materials. So on the toe box, it comes in this light navy, bluish tinge of mesh. And then on the mudguard, as well as the mid panel itself, all the way around the heel counter, it comes with a navy suede. And that suede, I gotta say, New Balance has a reputation for good quality because this suede feels so nice. It is so smooth. It just gives off that premium vibe. You know, sometimes you can just feel the difference in suede, like the rougher type of suede or the more synthetic feeling suede. It just does not feel like that. I love this suede so much. This is such good suede. And right under the ankle collar, you see this pebbled leather material to give it a bit more texture. And then right beside it, so right before where the mid panel is about to start, comes with this Arctic Grey leather, and it's tumbled leather. So there's just a bunch of materials going on, and that's pretty standard for New Balance. And usually I do prefer simplicity, but the quality on these materials are just top notch. It feels really, really good. And on the tongue, you see that same raised pebble material, just like right under the ankle collar, and it says New Balance 997R. And probably the easiest thing to notice that's different about the 997R compared to previous iterations is that the New Balance logo, the N, is tucked into the mudguard, so you see a part of it is hidden, and it is a slightly more slimmed down version of the shoe. Now I don't have a previous 997 in hand to really compare, but I'm going to go off articles and images online and make a comparison. It does have a slightly more slim and sleeker look to the shoe. Now the midsole of the shoe comes in this cream color with New Balance imprinted on one side and the New Balance logo, so not the full word, imprinted on the other side. And the midsole uses in-cap technology, which is essentially EVA foam wrapped with a polyurethane rim. So it strikes a great balance between cushioning and support. And I'll have more to say on comfort later, but just a little preview. This is a very comfortable shoe. And if you look closely in the midsole, there's actually two tones of that cream color. So towards the back half of the shoe, it's like a darker creamy color. And towards the front, it's more like sail. And if you look very, very close, you can see like the grain of the material of the midsole. I don't know why, I'm always so fascinated around these little details on a shoe. And the outsole comes in majority Arctic Grey with a bit of black towards the heel. And you can see the New Balance logo as well as the words 997R. So this shoe, in case you forget, you'll know exactly what you're wearing. Now moving on to the inside of the shoe, the material around the ankle collar and inside is in that synthetic leather material. Doesn't feel too bad, and it doesn't feel like so slippery where like your feet might feel like it's slipping out and it feels like it's a size too big. You know how some leather just feels very slippery and some has that like grip to it? This one is the one with that grip. And on the insole, it's a pretty standard New Balance insole. Has the word New Balance as well as the logo in red and the words 997R. Now I want to point out the white laces on this shoe. It is thick laces and I really like how that looks. It is a very sleek shoe, so that thick lacing, it almost makes the shoe pop a little bit more. Something about it, I just really like it. Now this shoe doesn't come with any extra laces. I think cream laces to match the midsole would actually look pretty nice on the shoe, but honestly I think this color, the default color, is pretty much perfect. Box of the shoe, very standard New Balance grey box. New Balance paper inside. Now moving on to size and comfort, I'm a size 9.5 true to size. I do have wide feet, and obviously this is my first 997R, so I took a chance. I just stayed true to size, 9.5 for me. And I will say, it's a pretty snug shoe compared to like the 550s or the 9060s. The 997R is pretty snug, especially around the toe box area, it is snug. However, as someone that does prefer a snug fit, I think it fits well. It fits kind of like the Airflight Huaraches. I reviewed that pretty recently, so it's fresh in my mind. That is like wearing a sock. So some people might not like that feel. Some people might like a very loose fit. However, for me, I like it literally right around my feet, just before the point of being too tight. And this shoe, it hits that point. It's just very snug, but it feels great on my feet. It's a very light shoe, and the cushioning on the shoe, it feels great. It's not like that super crazy foamy feeling shoe that some people might prefer. I think it really does true to its intent. It does strike a great balance between support and cushioning. It's perfect, honestly. Right now, off the top of my head, if I had to choose one shoe that I had to wear for like 5 days in a row without taking it off, I think this would be #1 contender. And that brings the total sole score to 19 out of 25, one of the highest scores that I've ever given a shoe, and I think it's very well deserved. Colorway wise, this navy and arctic gray color with the cream midsole, oof, it's beautiful. The white laces really make it pop. My biggest critique for most New Balance shoes, or a lot of them anyway, is just too much use of too many different colors. I don't like that. I think it looks messy. It just looks too funky for me. I'm an old man, I'm not that loud, but this colorway, because of its simplicity, of how well everything goes together, I really like it. And material wise, their reputation is well deserved. The materials on this shoe are so nice. After reviewing like just a bunch of Jordan shoes and Nike shoes in a row, especially with some Nike Dunks sprinkled in there and some Jordan 1s sprinkled in there, not exactly shoes that you would know for their materials, feeling this suede, ooh, it's a welcome change. I love the materials on this shoe. Honestly, no complaints. Comfort wise, like I said before, this is probably just thinking off the top of my head instinctually, because of how light it is, because of how well the cushioning and the support is on this shoe, probably the most comfortable shoe in my current rotation. Versatility wise, I think this is a super versatile silhouette. It's not too much in the direction of like that runner shoe vibe or dad shoe vibe, but it's not too far the other way either. It's kind of right around the middle. It's like athletic but casual, sleek, but also makes a statement with this colorway. The only thing I would say about this is you probably wouldn't wear this to like semi-formal occasions. This is probably more just restricted to casual use, but overall, you can wear this with a lot of outfits. Now storytelling wise, as far as I know, as far as all the articles state, this is just a general release, just a general colorway. I'm sure down the line with more collaborations, with more projects around the silhouette, there's going to be some great stories told through the 997R, but right now, storytelling, there's not really much to it. I've always been honest about my thoughts on New Balance silhouettes. I know they're very hyped right now. I know New Balance is on a resurgence. However, I'm just not someone that's going to try and fake how I feel towards certain shoes just because it's popular, just because it's supposed to be something you should like. The 990s, the 1906, the 2002Rs, I'm just not a huge fan of those shoes. Currently, the only New Balance shoes I own are the 9060s and the 550s. That's it. However, I do always appreciate the quality and materials on New Balances. This shoe though, not only do I appreciate the quality and the materials and the comfort, I really like the silhouette. This is a hit, at least for me. I can't wait for more colorways, for more releases. This silhouette, it's beautiful. I'm definitely looking forward to the 997Rs. So that's it. Thanks for watching Sole Inclined. Let me know what you think of the New Balance 997R Navy and Arctic Grey. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.